Hey everybody, it's Kevin. Welcome to Kev's Daily Vibe. Today is Sunday, the 6th of June, 2021. We are almost right at the middle of the year, midsummer night. Longest day of the year, I believe it is. We get most of the daylight. Interesting, right? All right, I'll get right to it. I had good sleep, good rest. I hope you did. I am continuing to enjoy my training. I think I've shared that with you. And you know, something comes up. Whoop, I think I got to move over here. There you go. That's better. Something comes up sometimes with the idea of knowing things. Like I was always raised with knowledge being a powerful tool. Which indeed it is. I'm not saying it isn't. But it also struck me that folks are also fearful of what they don't know, meaning there's this assumption that we're supposed to know everything. And I hear this word expert a lot. And I'm always struck by that because I think that's where the fear lies. At least it lies for me. Feeling that I don't know what I'm talking about, the feeling that I don't know what I'm about to say, what I'm about to do, and that to me now is a egoic construct, a construct of the human experience, not necessarily something that is really true. Especially the more I use this muscle, the more I use this channel of getting in touch with the other side, the spirit world, which, when I say the other side, the non-physical side, the energy that vibrates without a body, the energy that has been talking to me and communicating for a long time, but I haven't really been listening because I have been entrenched in that habitual, physical, egoic way of being. What I'll share with you about experts, it comes from the word experience. And that's the tough one, because I feel like we all want to get it right before we do it. Meaning, whenever we put ourselves out there, as I am right now, and as you are, and I'm reminded of some of the ratchet haircuts and colours I did way back in my early training. Had I not had those experiences, had I not done some of those things, made some missteps, I wouldn't have the experience of knowing that, oh, I can do it. And then something ratchet happens, I think, as we become more experienced, if you will, and we go through that road of life, that we reach what we consider in the ego world top of our game. Well, there really isn't a top of your game, which is what I'm discovering now. And there really isn't a game. It's just a road of life with ebbs and flows. What excites me the most about my life and my journey, and what I'm willing to share, is that in the last 20 years, 25 years perhaps, I've just tried it on and given it a go without really giving any construct to how it will turn out. And I'll share this with you, then we'll get to the cards. In the early 90s, I picked up everything I owned, including a dog and a parrot. I think it was a parrot. Yes. And moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. I think it was the 27th of December, 1993. And thought I had a job. Thought I had something to go to, work to. And, you know, less than a week later, it all fell through. No job, an apartment, 1 bedroom, and wasn't really sure how I was going to make it, what was going to happen. Couldn't really go backwards. And so I did what I needed to do in order to, when they say survive, I now know I did what I needed to do to thrive. There's two ways that you get through in life. You thrive. Survival, well, okay, that's life or death. Thriving is taking a situation that might not be quite what you thought it would and making something bigger out of it. And all the while I'm doing these things, I don't really realize what I'm actually accomplishing. I just don't get it. I'm just doing it to get to the next place, the next piece. One of the milestones that worked for me was reading the book by Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now and a New Earth. You get from point A to point B, really the point of it is to go from A to B. It isn't to keep doing beyond B. That will happen. But right now you've got to get from A to B to get this done. And that's, in a way, without really realizing what I was doing, that's what I was doing. And so the point with this message, for those of you that feel that perhaps you don't feel like you're qualified to do something and you're going to do it anyway, we live in this culture where, yes, qualifications, and I'll go as far as to say credentials. The credentials were important. And I think that that goes back to the history of how things were constructed. If you had a college degree, it meant that you were somehow accomplished or that you were somehow educated. And in the recent decades, if you will, half century, those folks that had credentials were considered to be better than, more accomplished. I'd say more scholarly, yes. I would say there was definitely a sense of accomplishment to folks who have completed 4 years of college, 7 years of college, whatever that is. And I'm not knocking it. But I'll be the first to say I was a high school flunky. I didn't like it. I did not like sitting in a classroom in rows, listening to somebody drone on and on and on and on and on. I remember not going to classes because what did I care about history? It's already happened. What's it going to have to do with what I'm doing now? Why do I care that what queen slept with what king to get what child to become what monarch? Why do I care? Yes, supposedly, if I want to know about how that building got destroyed or how this nation became into being, if I live in that nation, then it's going to make a difference. And I'm being a little flip, but I'm always amazed at how folks like me, who were not scholarly, were considered less than important, not given the opportunities because they didn't go to college, do this. And then we'll look at that. We'll look at the academic. And again, please, I'm not judging people who have got credentials. We need them. If you're going to become an architect, an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer, something of that nature, or even an expert in the business world, in the banking world, in the accounting world, anywhere that you truly need the qualifications. Yes, I needed a 5-year apprenticeship to learn my craft to be able to go and start putting chemicals on people's heads. And the point I'm making with this message is for those who feel they can't start something unless they are good at it, I want you to look at that again and just step into the ring that you're looking to become part of and see how it feels. Be willing to get vulnerable and feel a little bit nervous about not really sure how this is going to turn out, but just do it anyway. The whole point of living a really full, exciting life that matters, that has a purpose, is to try these things out. And the next time you find yourself shutting down the lid on something that you really want to try out and do, just step back a bit, take a breath, and look at what is the main reason you're shutting the lid down. Because usually when something's about to open that we should be going towards, we shut it down and put these up. And it's all to do with the fear of being not seen as important. I once became guilty of playing a role that I believed was on my business card. I believed that I was not good enough unless I had this title on the bottom of my name that said something bougie. And I started trying to live up to whatever that title meant to me. It was just words on a business card. And here's the bigger part of that. When the ego is dancing and running amok, everybody sees it. Everybody looks at how much of a fraud a person's being. Companies have constructed hierarchies of positions, and they've rewarded these positions with monetary gain. So we teach people that if you want to get a raise, you've got to reach this particular rank or this particular position or move up in this particular area. What that does, I think, is it creates this disparity, this sort of like leveling system. Somebody who has got a lot of letters after their name expects to be treated differently than somebody who doesn't. So does the person who doesn't have it but yet wrote an incredible piece of literature or is a international renowned entertainer, singer, songwriter, playwright, film director, all of those things? I'm not saying that you should not be experienced in your field of or your profession. What I am saying is, don't allow this fear that you have to be this some kind of expert or you've got to be some kind of brilliant before you even step onto the stage to take up whatever you're going to do. Let yourself have the freedom of undoing the chains of fear and allow yourself to experience that joy that happens when you get it, when you understand it. And even in the times that you try it on and you make this big bubbly mess of it, and we'll just say everybody's laughing at you, then you need to laugh back. Somebody taught me one time, because it can feel humiliating when you try your best, you do your best and you flunk, and the only people in your cheering section is your family going, yay, great. And you're in this big flunk. And you feel humiliated, you feel small, you want the earth to swallow you up. Oh my gosh, you can't believe it. You feel like a failure, all those things. And that's what churns up. The ego starts churning up this stuff, right? The fastest, quickest way to push past it is to just laugh. And stop calling yourself a failure. Stop looking at yourself as you've got it wrong. Stop doing that. Because that's hard to come back from. That's hard to move forward from. Yes, I'd say take a bit of time out. Maybe if it's a task you're trying to achieve, maybe you're an athlete, part of a team, and your team's disappointed with you because you did something that caused the team to lose, then you have to look at if you're on the right team. They haven't got your back in your lows. They've only got your back in your highs. That's not much of a team. Goes to everything. Goes to family. Goes to friends. Look at who is supporting you. Look at who is cheering you on. Look at who is invested in you, standing there under your spotlight, just the same way you stand and you help other people stand under their spotlight. And speaking of spotlight, there is only one. You're it. Under your spotlight. There's other spotlights, but they've got their spotlight. They're under their light. They're shining their light on their life. The one that matters is your life, your spotlight, the one you're standing underneath. And saying that, I'm grateful for the opportunity to come here and do this, because a year ago, I wouldn't have done it. I was so caught up in how this is going to look, how this is going to behave, what in the world are people going to think of me? It was the same when somebody suggested I go and teach yoga. I got caught up in the idea that I was supposed to know all these poses, or at least how to do them. And trust me, there are some yoga poses that I'm amazed that yoga teachers and students get into them, because my body won't go there. And that's what I looked at. Well, that's them. How is that going to work for me? But then something else emerged, so I did it. I just said, why not? I'll take the training and see what happens. I'll do it and see what shows up. And yeah, those first few yoga classes I taught were probably abysmal. I can't imagine what that was like to sit through or practice through or work through. Big mess, I'm sure. And then something occurred. I got comfortable. This is where it gets a little challenging too. You can sit in the comfy seat. You can sit in the, I've got the experience. I've got this now. I know I'm coasting forward and I'm there. The point we should all be at is we have to continue being vulnerable. We have to continue learning. We have to continue putting ourselves in that seat where, let me try something else. Let me try and move forward. It isn't elevation. Seems like it's elevating. Raising the vibration is elevating. Raising your heart space, raising your mood space, raising the pitch, the way that you continue life, how you like find that joy, that bliss. That is an elevation of mood. That's an elevation of feeling. But when we get to the point where we're comfortable in what we're doing, it's easy. We don't have to worry about being vulnerable because we've got this. That's when the ego starts playing games again. And you know it's playing games when you decide that what you're doing, saying, being, behaving, teaching, sharing is better than somebody else. It's not. That's when you decide to push the envelope a bit further, as I'm doing, and say, let me see what I can do with this. Let me see if this is floating my boat, and dig in a bit more and look at all the new things you're learning with fresh eyes. Go back into the classroom. Not necessarily if you want to finish up a degree, do it. You might be 60 years old, like I'm almost going to be. Try to write a book, write a play, become an actor. You've got this one chance to be on this playground. And as much as you are choosing intentionally to serve other people and listening to the call to do that, you've also got to nurture the soul within and stay on the soul path moving forward. It's a balance. And that is the road or the journey, the soul path is working that balance. And the only way to work the balance is in the now, is in the right now and where we are. It starts with, what we do every day is remove the ties that bind us to negativity, clear the space that keeps us attached to lower vibration, declare and claim that we are all about love and freedom, and then give thanks for the fact that we're able to still do it. Those 4 things. Get clear, sorry, look at where you've maybe mucked up, get rid of that negativity, clear that space so you can move forward easily, freely. Know that what you're doing is from a loving place, an intentional place, a good space, and then be grateful that you're able to do all those things. It becomes natural, a natural way of being. And eventually, the more you use the muscle, the more you move forward, these feelings of vulnerability and these feelings of not being good enough and these tales we tell ourselves and the lies we get caught up in become less and less and less important. What becomes important is you have remembered who you are authentically and what you came here to do brilliantly. Because I happen to think, wow, I've always said it. We are the result of 2 pieces of DNA that went through 9 months of gestation, 40-something weeks, pushed ourselves into the world, screamed our head off and said, feed me, change me, give me what I need, then who are we now not to want to do big things, not to want to say what we have to say? And we all did it. Every one of us did it, no matter whether you are a woman or a man, black or white, Asian, Hispanic, Irish, Norwegian, doesn't matter. We all did this exactly the same way. All right, my loves, let's get to the cards and see what the message is, and doing something a bit different, using a different mega deck, only because I want to learn something new and different, want to come from a different message. So bring your feet flat to the floor, take a big breath in, release and let that go. Thank you, angels, for reminding me that you're here with us today. I am willing to listen and to receive the message through these cards. Give these cards a shuffle. And so the cards are what they are. I've mixed 16 of the Archangel cards in with, so this is one that popped out and it goes to the side. Oh, the Divine Physician, Archangel Raphael. Thank you, Raphael, for shining your divine light upon the healthy body. So that could be healthy spirit too. Could be watch what you're putting in your body, watch what you're consuming, watch what you're over consuming, under consuming. And then let's get for the card of today would be, look at that, it turned itself over. We have manifestation, followed by holy love, and then composure. So really, if I'm looking at this and I'm putting these 3 in space, because they seem to jump out like they did, the strength, we're manifesting the future, we're manifesting what we're doing in our life right now. We know that for sure. That everything we're doing it the way we want to do it. We're looking forward to how we do things. Putting our hearts, minds, and intentions up towards the divine and allowing the divine to bring us what we need to know and how we need to move forward. And in the heart space, the space that we're looking to do is to wrap ourselves up in that feeling of love and that feeling of bliss and that feeling of joy and that feeling of being nurtured, being seen, just being loved. And then finally, what's the challenge? What is it that we should be paying attention to? And I'm going to say, using the Divine Physician, shining your divine light upon a healthy body, that would be, for me, calling upon Archangel Raphael. And you could also use the Mother Mary, who's looking for peace, divine peace. And take a step into what is it that could perhaps be causing a physical, emotional, spiritual challenge, an ache physically, an emotional pain, something that's happened, something that you perhaps are a bit bothered by, nervous about, wishing were different, wanting to be healed. And this final card, what do we pay attention is keep your composure. Trying to see things, observe them, look at them without attaching an emotion to them, without diving deep into the chatter in your head, making the assumptions, creating the stories and the dramatic stuff, adding on the embellishments to what you're telling other people. Rather, doing a bit more meditation, you see the image is of a monk who's meditating. Actually, in this image, if I pull it up a bit closer to the camera, the image is the monk is levitating, floating on a prayer mat, similar to what we do when we do yoga. and I'm looking at this image, I'm seeing nothing but peace. And if I'm listening to the message that my guides are telling me, the angels are saying, don't worry, we've got you. We're healing your wounded hearts. We're drying your tears. We're lifting your sadness into love. But have composure for yourself. And when you see others in distress and you see others acting out, lately I've never seen so many grown adults have temper tantrums like 2-year-olds, but it's happening. And that's the way I look at it. Wow, here comes a 40-year-old person and they're acting out as if they're 5. And then you can see a 5-year-old doing the same thing because they want candy or they want something and they're screaming and crying. Well, that's what you're going to be like when you're an adult. Okay, that's judgment. That is judgment. Dropping below a place of integrity. So look at this message as energy of know that you are manifesting what you want if you're clear about what that is. And know that you come from a place of peace and love, understanding, and that if you want something, the heart says, make sure it's for the highest good of everybody. Be grateful that it helps all the people that it's going to help. This week I was reminded that all of us that have joined the angel team, and it is a community, global community. Kyle Gray's organization is planting a tree in the Scottish Highland for each and every person that has signed up to become part of this global culture, a global community. We can call ourselves students, but we're all students. Students of life, students of the soul path. We've all signed up to do something. Whether or not you take the training because you personal use, you want to know more, that was sort of me, but then it felt like a calling. Then it felt like it showed up right when the perfect time it needed to show up. So I said, yep, what now, why not? I need to do something. That's where that holy love comes from. The decision, the heart wants to make sure it's the highest good for everyone. So the Kyle Gray decided, listen, I need to replenish the earth with these trees. I think at the last count there were, this group were 1,082. That's a lot of trees. But then in a bigger forest, not really. And then when you think about the globe and how many acres along the rainforest are being taken away, that's telling Mother Earth, listen, we thank you very much for providing clean oxygen to the earth, but we're going to take acres and acres and acres of that away. Leaving the actual Mother Earth planet, the one we're on and we're living on, vulnerable. The sun is okay to give you all the energy that you could need. But then the earth needs to be used for nurturing, for renewing, for replacing and replenishing. That's what we're here to do. And then finally, composure. As I've spoken about this for days, when you move forward with anything that you do, it's for the highest good of everyone. And it's usually with lack of negative emotion. You can be frustrated and anger for sure. Get it to the root of where that comes from. And if it's something that you can cut off, something you can heal from, here goes the divine physician. Sending the healing energy to the parts of our mind, our body, and our spirit that needs healing. All right, let's get on to the weekly message from, let's see, where's that? There we go. Here we go. Melody Beatty's Journey to the Heart, and see if it ties in with our cards this morning. We need to go to the 6th. Learn to change your energy. Kind of plays into this. A simple act of moving around can change your energy. When your mind starts to flag, move your body around. Go for a walk. Take a bath. Get a drink of water. Work out at the gym. You're doing more than moving your body. You're changing and rearranging your energy field, raising your vibration. Listen to your body. It will say what it needs, what it would like, what would be helpful if you let it. It will even move quite naturally to what would do it good. Stretch your legs, stretch your arms, go outside, do some deep breathing. Call a friend, meditate, tell a joke to a co-worker. You don't have to stay stuck in the energy you're in. You don't have to be a victim to the way you feel right now. One of the powers we learn that we have is the ability to shift, to refocus and rearrange our energy. When we get stuck in a particular emotional reaction or mindset, when we get too bogged down or too fired up, we can save ourselves a lot of time by changing our energy. Instead of hammering away at a change in the situation, learn to tell when it's time to do that. Then discover what works for you. The little acts as well as the big ones. Be gentle with yourself. When you get stuck, when you need a fresh viewpoint, learn to change and rearrange your energy as needed. I think that that's really what's going on right now on a global level. We are learning to change and rearrange our energy. This week, last week, I've heard a lot of statements coming from people, blind statements. Statements about, well, what they feel, what they think of how things are going. One that comes to mind is how companies are looking for help. And what I hear is, what are these companies doing for the people that they're looking to get help from? What have they done? What have they been doing? And we can't really take away the last 15 months that we've been jostling around with emotions, with feelings, with understanding how things have been. But now we're facing a point with which we didn't realize that truck drivers are needed. Fast food companies need help. Well, here's the thing, people. When you start automating everything, when you replace people with machines, you make those people redundant. You cause them to have the stress of not knowing how they're going to provide for themselves. You're not making it easy for someone to go to work when you can't guarantee them 40 hours, but maybe 20. And if they go in for a 6-hour shift and you cut them after 4, but you're not paying them for the 6 that you booked for, that makes somebody rethink how they're going to work and who they're going to work for. This is where I feel like we're getting to an equalization of the effort and the response, or the reward. Just saying, just an observation. All right then, time to meditate, my friends. Bring your feet flat on the floor. Today I'll do a guided meditation. I'll see what spirits come through. So take a nice big stretch. Open up your physical space. Move some of those tissues around your big shoulder bones and take a big breath in. Let all that go. And then settle into a breath that you are consciously connected to, mindful of. Fill up even big. And release. Follow the next inhale. And an exhale. Get to the point where you are listening to the breath coming into your body. Experience the sensation of exhaling everything out of your body. And you can repeat this prayer if you want to, or say it silently to yourself. It's your choice. Thank you, Archangel Michael, Ascended Masters, for cutting the ties that bind me to people, places, situations, stories, and anything else I no longer align with, I no longer want, that I no longer need, and no longer serves my purpose. Thank you for cutting those ties now. I lift the weight of the world off my shoulders, out of my heart, and declare that I am safe and I am free. Give yourself a few moments to see, witness, picture any of the tales that may be binding you to something unnecessary. Let's bring in a prayer to clear the space. Thank you, Archangel Metatron. And your armies of angels of magenta light for clearing the lower vibrational energy from my place of space, for dissolving the issues that have pulled me down and kept me anchored to the deep, dark, negative energies of other people. Thank you for lifting the vibration of limiting beliefs, unnecessary stories, allowing me to move forward with grace, gratitude, and quietly find a space in your mind, in your heart, in your whole body. Bring into mind something that you are truly, genuinely grateful for. Thank you, angels, for reminding me and others that you're present. Thank you for lifting our hearts and our minds. Thank you for revealing to me what I need to know, what I need to share. I'm willing to listen, to receive. And so it is. Allow yourself to connect with what you're hearing in the physical space. As your mind quietens down from thought, focus on your physical body. And focus on the area right around your heart space, the center of your physical body. And connect your mind and your thoughts to your internal flame. Imagine that there is a candle or a light. And inside this flame is your essence and your energy, your authentic self. This eternal flame has lived inside of you since you were created many, many lifetimes ago. And just as the earth supplies the oxygen that keeps you breathing, so the same source of energy supplies your eternal flame with the energy to keep it glowing. Be in touch with the magic of the eternal flame. Allow the eternal flame to illuminate through the crown of your head and through the soles of your feet. Watch as your eternal flame protrudes from the circumference of your skin in all directions. Accept how you see the flame, how you see the light. Be with the vision of it. Be with the feeling of it. Watch for any areas of your physical body with this vision, for any areas of your body that is no longer bright and shiny, and breathe in. Send the eternal light to those areas. If you're feeling tight in the hips, if you're experiencing physical congestion in your chest, if you're feeling sinus congestion in your nose cavity, or compression, tightness in any part of your back, bring your mind to that area of discomfort without comfort. As you breathe in, see the light that comes from source energy brighten the area where the challenge lives. Give thanks for the Archangel Raphael. See his green light of healing. You can say a prayer, thank you, Archangel Raphael, for placing your healing hands upon my being and healing the area of discomfort. Thank you for removing the pain. Thank you for releasing the trapped energy. And thank you for reviving this part of my body to vibrant health. And sit for a moment and let the hands of Archangel Raphael send the energy from source through his hands, and from his hands to your physical body. Allow the area of discomfort to be healed. And as you feel the healing energy, healing the area of discomfort, give thanks and gratitude to Archangel Raphael for coming and offering you his relief. Listen for any other messages that you may or may not be getting from your guardian angel. And if you have forgotten or not thought of your guardian angel recently, take a breath in and see a ball of light in front of you in the distance. And simply say, "Thank you, angel, my guardian angel, for coming, reminding me that you're here." And see this golden light coming towards you, identified in a similar light to yours. You can choose to stretch your arms out in front of you. Keep your chest open, your upper back open. And as this light comes towards yours, it gets bigger and bigger and connects with your own. You may feel their hands, their forearms wrapping around your forearms. Allow yourself to be open to seeing the image in front of you, surrounded by this gorgeous golden white light. The white light that you share together, that you've always shared. Allow yourself to greet your guardian angel. The guardian angel's purpose is to serve you and for you to have a harmonious life, blissful life, a life of joy and love, a life of abundance and limitless opportunities. Allow your guardian angel to share with you what it is you need to know. Be patient. Take time. Listen carefully. And if there is no clear answer from your guardian angel, and send up the prayer, "Thank you, guardian angel, for showing me what I need to know. For guiding me forward to completing what I need to do. Bring your hands to heart center. Keep that open communication with your guardian angel. Keep the energy of this angel around you, with you. Be open to having this information revealed and trusting it. Lift your thumb knuckles to your third eye center, and together we bow and say Namaste. That seemed quite lovely today. Thank you for joining me. Real quick before I close it down, the guardian angel energy that comes to you, that's reminding you that you're here, that they're around you, they don't really go away. However, all angels work in the now, the present space. How I know that is whenever I've done readings for people and brought messages from spirits, almost as quickly as I've delivered it, the information leaves. I don't remember it. It's not something that stays with me. It isn't intentional. It's just I am a vessel to deliver the information that is coming in front of me to you in the most truthful and authentic way I know how, by sharing it. So the same way when you're inviting in the spirit and you're inviting in your guardian angel to reveal what you need to know, if you don't get an answer right away, it isn't that they're not listening or that you're not seeing them. Then you can ask the question a different way. Show me what I need to know. Then maybe you get a vision, maybe you get an impression. But if you don't, it's okay. They will, by keeping their energy around for the next 24 hours or so. Anytime you think of them, they're there. Anytime they come to your mind, they're there. If you go outside and you find a feather, that's an indication that they have not forgotten you and that they will show you what you need to know. And maybe what you need to know leaps out as a book. Maybe what you need to know is not to be so worried about something. Perhaps you see the angel numbers 1111, 2222, 123. There are signs always everywhere. Money, pennies from heaven. They find them on the floor. All right, my friends, thanks so much. Have a great Sunday. Do something that matters. Bye.